Some of these mods are federally banned, some just quietly void your warranty. But all 10 add 100,000 miles to a Land Rover, and your dealer will refuse to touch a single one of them. Every independent Land Rover specialist runs these the second the factory warranty runs out because they've seen what the alternative costs. One of them is a $22,000 engine, another is a $7,000 exhaust bill the dealer swears is your only option. Stay until number 1 because it's a $50 part that quietly doubles the life of your gearbox. Number 10. The air-to-coil suspension conversion. If you own almost any modern Range Rover, Sport, or Discovery, you're riding on electronic air suspension. 4 rubber air struts, a compressor, a valve block, and a fistful of sensors. It rides beautifully, right up until it doesn't. Here's what's actually happening. The struts develop tiny leaks, the compressor runs longer and longer trying to keep the truck level, and then it burns out from overwork. One corner sags overnight, the dash throws a suspension fault, and the truck limps home on the bump stops. The dealer's answer is to replace struts and compressor at genuine parts prices, and owners routinely get quoted $6,000. Here's the part they won't say out loud. Once one strut goes, the others are already on the clock. Some owners have replaced the compressor 3 times before 60,000 miles. The fix is a coil spring conversion kit from Arnott or Atlantic British. You pull the air struts, drop in real steel springs, and a small bypass module tells the truck everything's fine, so the warning light never comes on. Parts run around $1,000 to $1,500. Install is an hour or 2. The trade-off: you lose adjustable ride height and the dealer will grumble that you gutted the suspension. But a coil spring can't leak, can't burn out a compressor, and can't strand you at 2 in the morning. If you plan to keep the truck past 100,000 miles, this is the money pit you close first. That's the cheapest peace of mind on the list. Number 9 is even cheaper, and it stops a fuel system failure most owners never see coming. Number 9. The oil catch can on the supercharged petrol engines. If you've got a supercharged Land Rover, the 5.0 V8, the 3.0 V6, or the smaller Ingenium 4, your engine is direct injected. Fuel sprays straight into the cylinder, which is efficient, but it means fuel never washes over the back of your intake valves the way it did on older engines. Here's what's actually happening. Oil vapor from the crankcase drifts through the PCV system and bakes onto those valves as rock-hard carbon. Nothing ever cleans it. By 70 to 90,000 miles, you get rough idle, misfires, and a flat spot in the power. The dealer fix is a walnut blasting service. They pull the intake manifold off and literally blast the valves with crushed walnut shell. That's $800 to $1,500 every time, and on a heavy carbon engine, you'll need it again. A quality catch can from Mishimoto, UPR, or a similar brand installs in about an hour. It sits in the PCV line and traps the oil vapor before it ever reaches the valves. You empty a little reservoir at each oil change. That's it. Now the banned part. A catch can technically modify your emissions PCV plumbing, which the EPA counts as tampering on a street vehicle, and any dealer who spots it will use it to deny an intake or emissions claim. Take the small warranty risk. Owners who run one from day one see valves that still look factory clean at 150,000 miles. Skip it, and you're buying walnut blasts for the life of the engine. That one saves your valves. Number 8 saves the whole engine because Land Rover built this next failure right into the timing system. Number 8. The upgraded timing chain and metal guide kit. This is the mod that keeps Land Rover mechanics in business. The 5.0 Supercharged V8, engine code AJ133, and its 3.0 V6 supercharged cousin, the AJ126, both drive the camshafts with a single timing chain running over plastic guides and a weak hydraulic tensioner. Here's what's actually happening. The plastic guides wear, the tensioner can't take up the slack, and the chain rattles on cold startup, that diesel at a red light clatter for the first few seconds. Ignore it, and the chain eventually jumps a tooth or the guide shatters. On an interference engine, that means bent valves and often a scrap block. Land Rover was sued over this and issued technical bulletin LTB00474NAS3 for the rattle, but they never fixed the underlying design. The dealer's only real answer once it lets go is a new engine, and Jaguar Land Rover charges $18,000 to $25,000 for one. Even catching it early, a proper chain, tensioner, and guide job runs $2,500 to $3,500 at a dealer. The fix specialists use is an upgraded kit with metal-backed guides and a reinforced tensioner, the kind companies like Rover Parts Depot build their engines around. Same chain layout, done right. Doing it voids your powertrain warranty the moment the covers come off and the dealer knows it. But the factory setup is a time bomb with a plastic fuse. If you hear that cold start rattle, don't wait, because that noise is the cheapest warning you'll ever get. If you enjoy this video, Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Number 7. The crankshaft oil system upgrade on the diesel. If you run the 3.0 V6 turbo diesel, the 306 DT, sold here as the TD6 and known elsewhere as the TDV6 and SDV6, you own the single most catastrophic failure in the Land Rover lineup, the crankshaft. Here's what's actually happening. This crank is a compact, narrow design with thin webs between the journals, and it lives on oil pressure. Let the oil get old, let the pickup screen clog, let the pump wear, and the oil film collapses. A bearing spins, blocks an oil gallery, and the crank flexes until it fractures, usually toward the back of the engine. Owners report it hitting between 80 and 120,000 miles, sometimes with a faint knock for warning, sometimes with none at all. Land Rover quietly issued a crankshaft balancing bulletin, LRTIS 2016-089, which tells you everything about how real this is. A replacement long engine runs $4,000 to $8,500 fitted, and it's a body-off job. The mod the dealer will never suggest: an uprated oil pump, a cleaned or upgraded oil pickup, both oil filters replaced together, and strict 6,000-mile changes on correct C15W30, not the long intervals the dealer prints in the service book. Watch for codes P06DD, P132A, or P1335, and a knock from the lower block means you stop driving now. The dealer has zero incentive to shorten your service intervals. This is the mod that keeps the crank in one piece. Keep the crank alive and the diesel will run forever. Number 6 is the one attorneys argue over because it's the most warranty-voiding mod on the entire list. Number 6, the custom ECU tune. This is the most warranty-voiding mod here and the one owners are most nervous about, so let's be clear about the law. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act says a manufacturer can't void your whole warranty just for modifying the car. They have to prove your mod caused the specific failure. But the moment you flash the ECU, Land Rover can and will deny any powertrain claim they can link to it, and their techs are trained to scan for a tune at every visit. Here's the flip side nobody at the dealer mentions. A good tune actually extends engine and transmission life. Factory calibrations are set for emissions and fuel economy ratings first, longevity second. A proper tune softens the ZF gearbox's harsher shifts, cleans up the fueling, and pulls back the aggressive timing that hammers the internals. On the diesel, it sharpens throttle and trims soot. On the supercharged petrol, it smooths the power delivery. Tuners like Velocity AP and Celtic Tuning build calibrations specifically for these trucks. Fewer violent shifts means fewer heat cycles through the clutch packs, and fewer heat cycles means a gearbox that lasts. The catch: every flash is logged and the dealer scanner sees it. So do this one after your bumper-to-bumper runs out. Done right, a tune isn't a risk to longevity, it's insurance for it. A tune eases the strain. Number 5 stops the Supercharged V8 from cooking itself alive. Number 5. The cooling system upgrade on the Supercharged V8. The 5.0 supercharged engine makes glorious power and brutal heat, and its weakest link isn't the supercharger, it's everything keeping it cool. Here's what's actually happening. The plastic-housed water pump, the thermostat, and the little charge cooler pump that feeds the intercoolers on top of the supercharger all wear out, and when they go, coolant temps climb fast. Heat is what kills these engines. It cooks the oil, stresses the timing chain you just paid to fix, and warps expensive parts. Land Rover specialists will tell you the same thing, that the factory water pump and charge cooler pump are service items pretending to be lifetime parts. The dealer waits for one to fail, then charges you for a water pump job that runs well over $1,500 once you count labor buried deep in the front of the engine, and they'll happily do it again when the next plastic pump fails. The mod is to get ahead of it. An upgraded water pump, a fresh thermostat, and a higher flow charge cooler pump all done together while the front of the engine is already open. It's not banned and it won't void much. It just annoys a service department that would rather sell you the same repair twice. Keep this V8 cool and it'll outlive the body around it. Now the top 4. All of them live on the diesel, all of them are federally banned on a street-driven truck, and all 4 add 6 figures of miles by ripping out the systems Land Rover bolted on for the emissions lab, not for you. Number 4. The DPF delete on the TD6 diesel. Your diesel runs a diesel particulate filter in the exhaust that traps soot so the truck passes emissions. Here's what's actually happening. Every time it fills, the engine runs a regeneration cycle and dumps extra fuel to torch the trapped soot at over 1,000 degrees. Do a lot of short trips and the filter never fully regenerates, so it clogs, throws the truck into limp mode, and slowly dilutes your engine oil with unburned diesel on every failed regen. That fuel and oil is quietly wearing the crank bearings we just talked about. Eventually the filter block's solid and the dealer wants $4,000 to $6,000 to replace that section of exhaust. A DPF delete swaps the filter internals for a straight pipe, paired with a delete tune that switches off the monitoring so there are no regions, no limp mode, and no fuel dilution. Here's the banned part, stated plainly. Removing a DPF on a street-driven diesel violates the Federal Clean Air Act. Individual owners can be fined, and any state with emissions testing will fail you on site. But if you live in a no-inspection state, Florida and Montana come up constantly on the forums, and you're keeping the truck, deleting the DPF stops the regions that thin your oil and shorten your engine. No regions, no dilution, no $6,000 exhaust. That kills the regions. Number 3 shuts off the system that strands more Land Rovers than any other, the one that literally counts down to a no start. Number 3, the DEF and SCR delete on the TD6. Alongside the DPF, your diesel runs a selective catalytic reduction system that sprays diesel exhaust fluid, AdBlue, into the exhaust to cut nitrogen oxide emissions. When it works, it's invisible. When it fails, it holds your truck hostage. Here's what's actually happening. The DF system is a web of failure points. The DF pump, the injector, the tank heater, the quality sensor, the level sensor, the NOx sensors, and the SCR catalyst itself. Any one of them triggers the dreaded message, 249 miles to no restart. That's your Range Rover starting a countdown, and when it hits 0, the engine won't restart until the fault is cleared. Owners describe a DEF quality or dosing malfunction, then a $2,000 dealer bill that fixes nothing, followed by a quote north of $7,000 to replace the DPF and SCR section together, often after weeks waiting on parts. A complete DF and SCR delete removes the SCR internals and uses a delete tune to switch off the entire AdBlue monitoring system. No DEF, no countdown, no random no start in a parking lot. Watch for codes POW1002, P24A4, and Pyro234, which is usually the throttle and soot story that starts the whole cascade. Same Clean Air Act violation, same emissions state problem, but delete it and you delete the single most likely reason a TD6 leaves you stranded. That stops the strandings. Number 2 is the big one. The system Land Rover mechanics blame for more dead diesels than everything else combined. Number 2, the EGR delete on the diesel. Ask any Land Rover diesel specialist which system kills these engines first, and they'll all say the same 3 letters, EGR. The exhaust gas recirculation valve routes hot exhaust back into your intake to lower combustion temperatures for the emissions test. Here's what's actually happening. It dumps soot and unburned carbon straight back into your engine on every cycle. That soot cakes the intake, clogs the EGR cooler, and eventually cracks the cooler itself. And when the cooler cracks, it leaks coolant into the intake. Coolant in the intake means coolant in a cylinder, and on a diesel that can mean a bent rod and a locked engine. The EGR is also what keeps feeding soot and fuel dilution into the very oil that protects your crankshaft. An EGR delete kit blocks off the intake ports, reroutes the coolant around the failed cooler, and uses a delete tune to switch off the EGR monitoring, and the kits run a few $100s. Deleting it is a Clean Air Act violation. It voids the powertrain warranty, and it'll fail an emissions inspection. But every experienced diesel tech gives the same advice. Delete the EGR the day your warranty ends, and the engine will outlive the truck. The dealer has zero incentive to tell you that. They'd rather sell you the cooler twice. That saves the diesel, but number 1 saves every single Land Rover, petrol or diesel, and it's a $50 part. Number 1, the ZF 8-speed thermal bypass delete. This is the biggest longevity mod for any modern Land Rover, and it applies to nearly all of them. Every Range Rover, Sport, Velar, and Discovery running the ZF 8-speed automatic, which is basically everything for over a decade, petrol and diesel alike. Here's what nobody tells you. Your transmission has a thermal bypass valve that deliberately restricts flow to the transmission cooler until the fluid heats up to around 180 degrees. Land Rover left it that way for faster warm-up and better emissions numbers. The result is a gearbox that runs hot on purpose. And heat is what kills the ZF 8-speed. This is the same unit rated for roughly 520 pound-feet, and every 10 degrees over its ideal range roughly halves the fluid's life. Owners who tow, live somewhere hot, or drive hard watch these transmissions die around 100,000 miles instead of the 250,000 they're built for. The fix is a thermal bypass delete. You pull the restrictive factory valve and let full flow reach the cooler at all times, holding the fluid in the healthy 160 to 180 range. Trans 10 drop 30 to 50 degrees on the highway. The fluid lasts twice as long, and the gearbox lifespan roughly doubles. The part costs around $50 and installs in an hour. The dealer will deny a transmission claim if they see it, so do it once the powertrain warranty ends. Then think about the math. A rebuilt ZF8 speed is $5,000 to $7,000. A $50 valve stops that entire repair from ever happening. That's the one they were never going to tell you about.